Play this one.
Now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Israel. We thought we were live there earlier. Sorry about that. Pretty everybody's doing all right. You with us out?
Yeah, Khan, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're on.
All right, Khan.
Just wait a few minutes, y'all. We're gonna leave this up, and we're gonna get some folks time to come on. We're gonna have some music in the background for y'all and for the lunar calendar as well. So we'll be back shortly.
All right. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, and welcome to the new lesson month, month 8, the month of Bull, So we're going to be going over the calendar as promised. So last month, of course, was the 7th month, and we've had we had most of the majority of our feast days are condensed in like 1 month. We had, of course, we had the Feast of Trumpets, which began on the sunset of the last month of the 6th month, and then the beginning of the 7th month, and then we have the Day of Atonement, which was the 9th sunset to the 10th sunset, or the Hebrew calendar, and then our infamous Feast of Tabernacles.
That's right.
We had this was a big month, y'all, and having all these feast days and everything. So now we're on month 8, and those of you that's been with us for the amount of years we've been putting out the calendar for 3 years now, getting ready to go on the 4th year. And so as we start working the calendar for 2023, the only thing that's going to change slightly is the Gregorian calendar, because that's going to stay the same. That's going to always change. The only thing that's going to stay the same is the Hebrew days, because it always goes off the equinox. And when you read the note at the bottom, and like I said, this is why we put like the precepts out here, so you all could just like follow these precepts and study. And if you read the note at the bottom, the Hebrew Israelite months are numbered in the following order, starting with the equinox and Abib, 130, 230, 331. This is how we got the calendar laid out according to the scriptures. It's going to always be 30, 30, 31, and then repeats that 4 times to give you quarters and season. And notice that the first day of the calendar, there's no new moon. See, the new moon does not bring in the new months. All right, that's all set by the bringing in the end of the year and the beginning of the year of the sun. So when that's set in place, when it's locked, and when you go off the equinox, which the sun completes the year and also brings the year in, that's what we go by.
We really don't have too much to bring to you this month. We got the 8th month of Bull here.
Can you see that screen okay?
I can see it just fine. Can you hear me just fine?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and
clear. All right, all right, yeah, so Israel, we really don't have that much here. We just have the 8th month of Bull right there. We do have one new moon that we do have set here. We'll probably go over that scripture for you, just so you guys can understand. We just want to point out everything in every single month. Far as the calendars go, the dates, far as the days like 1 through 30, they're always going to remain the same in all 12 months. As you see, no matter what, it's always going to be 30, 30, 31. It's going to remain the same. The only thing that'll change on the Hebrew calendar will be the new moons, okay? Because the new moons, they're going to switch, because they revolve and they make their full transition in 28.5 days. Okay, so that's the only thing that we're going to be having changing from year to year is the new months, right? Which is why the scriptures say to every 3 new moons make up a season. Okay, every 3 new moons make up a season. Okay,
and that's why the Gregorian, like when you look at the blue numbers and the red numbers, which indicate the Gregorian calendar, those days are going to change. And the reason why they're going to change is because the heathens, they go off the 365 days, which throws everything off. So and that's why it's going to change. But it's amazing how Most High has everything set up, because with the equinox, the dates will never keep going backwards. So when the heathens do their leap year and all that kind of stuff, it will not mess up the Hebraic calendar at all.
That's right.
As long as we're following the order of Enoch and the rotation of the sun and what have you, it's going to always, the Hebrew days and months are going to always be the same.
I wanted to bring out one scripture that we had sitting here. You see where it says Genesis, the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 14 through 16. Now, this is really important that I wanted to bring this out. Well, really, I'm going to read, 14 through 16, right? So I'm going to go ahead and bring this out. Let me see. All right, bomb. There we go. Right. And so I wanted to bring this out because I wanted to this is going to be a cut for those that believe that the new moon it starts the month, right? Because the new moon does not start the month. It
Okay.
says, and it's in the very beginning, right? So we have to read with understanding, right? It says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, right? And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so, right? And this is the very important verse right here, right? Which people overlook this. It says, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day.
That's
Right?
right.
That's important right there. And their lesser night, which would be the moon, right? To rule the night, right? He made the stars and he made the stars also, right? So now, if we're going to come up with the days, right? Because we know that accumulation of days makes up a month, right? So, right, the start of the days are going to make up the month. And so we say here, and it says, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day, right? So as we see right here, the Lord, he counts our our time period by days. He doesn't count it by the moon, and he doesn't count it by nights, right? If he had counted by nights, right, we would know it says, and the lesser light to rule the night, right? But see, he doesn't never say anything about the nights as he go on from this day and that day and that day and that day. He'll say emphatically when it's something that is happening in the night. But if you go throughout the scriptures, you'll see that, for example, and it says, and the evening, which is right about now for a lot of us, right? Starts the evening, and the morning were the fourth day, right? So that's a completion, right? That is the day. That's the light period that we have in that particular time, right? So that's gonna conclude that, whether than being it farther, whether it being talking about the moon where it's dealing with the nights, right? So we know that the times, like I said, we said two great lights, and it says one great light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. But it says also right here, right? He says, and God also made lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, right? And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, right? So we know for days and years, right? We know what that we have to do what? Go by the days, right? So we have to go by the days, and what rules the days? The suns rules the days. The suns also rules the years, and that's how we come up with it. We also have another precept in Jubilees too that I can get. Ak, you want to say something before?
Yeah, I do. I do, man. There's a powerful verse that I want to read in conjunction with the one you read. And the purpose of the sun, because I want you to be clear, super clear, we don't miss anything. So Jubilees chapter 2. And
that's it right there. Come on, bring it out. Yeah, that's exactly one I was about to get.
That's one he's going to bring out? Okay. So it says, and that's the spirit right there. It says, and on the fourth day he created the sun and the moon and the stars and set them in the expanse of heavens to give light unto all the earth and to rule over the day and the night and divide the light from the darkness. Now watch this, because he makes a distinction, a purpose of the sun. He calls out the sun directly here. It says, and Elohim appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days and for Shabbats and for months and for feast and for years of the Shabbat, of years for Jubilees and for all seasons of the year. Now let me read that part again, because this is what a lot of people miss. It says, and divided light from darkness, and Elohim appointed the sun to be the great sign on the earth for the days and for the Shabbats and for the months and for the feast and for years and for Shabbats of years and for Jubilees and for all seasons of the year. So right here is telling you directly what closes out and brings in the new year.
Now, I don't want you to get misconstrued right at the bottom, because it says for all seasons of the year, that you're thinking that, oh, well, the moon brings in the seasons. No, right? You know how it says in the scriptures that the Passover is supposed to be set and it's supposed to be kept in a particular season, right? That season is dealing with the way that the days are comprised of by the sun, 7 days a week, right? We have 30, 30, 31, to make up the months, so forth and so on. It's not dealing with, every 3 new moons we have, we're bringing a difference of the changing of the weather, as far as like the different seasons as autumn, right? Summer, fall, or anything of that nature. And that's talking about for the seasons to be kept in their season, right? That's what it says for our feast days to be kept in their season, because we're not supposed to go off the days. The days are set in stone. All right, Con. And that was actually the scripture that I was going to bring out too. All praises to the Most High for that.
Okay. And then
Salakia.
yep. So another scripture I wanted to bring out too. So this gives a distinction with the moon as well too. And this is going to be coming from Jubilees chapter 6 and verse 22 and verse 23 as well too. And it says, "For I have written in the sefer of the first Torah, in that which I have written for you, that you should celebrate it in its season. One day in the year I explain to you its sacrifices."
Bring that back, read that right back, so they can understand the differentiation in seasons, where it's not talking about the actual like moon type seasons that it brings through, but actually the ones that are talking about in the days.
Yep. Let me read that over again. Verse 22 says, "For I have written in the sefer of the first Torah, that in which I have written for you, that you should celebrate it in its season. One day in the year, and I explain to you his sacrifices, that the children of Yasharel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year." All right. Verse 23, "And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month." So it's giving you the seasons right here. So let's look at on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month. Why? Because these are all seasons. "And on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever."
That's a strong scripture right there. And see, that'll tell you right there, just the way that it's written, is telling you that on the new moon of the first month, right? Meaning that we're already in the first month. And whatever the new moon that happens within that first month that's going to be the new moon for that month. You understand? It's not talking about as the new moon began the first month. Now, you can't find scriptures in the Bible that it's like that. You know, as you like, if you were to go back to our new moon lesson, we'll show you emphatically that some of it, like some of the ones that are in the 1611, were supposed to be transcribed as first light of the moon, not first day, right? Or you know what I'm saying, or first light of the month, or you know what I'm saying, something like that in nature. It didn't have anything to do with the actual moon being the first day of the year. Actually, there's even scriptures saying that, you know, the heathens, they're the ones that like to follow after the new moon, and you know, witches and all that other kind of stuff.
And I'm going to show you why we were commanded not to go off the new moons, because this is what the camps. I think IUIC is the only one that goes off the full moon. I think they're the only
mercy.
full moon. I know that's crazy, but everybody else does. They had to really make it crazy, didn't they?
I don't know what's going on.
All right,
some people, they just like to be different.
Yeah, I know. Let's look at Jubilees chapter 6 and verse 36. And it says, "For there will be those who will assertly make observation of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon." So what that's saying, if you notice, like every year when these camps celebrate their feast days and they go off the new moon, each year is going to be different. Like, for example, Passover may be in beginning of April, one year, and then one year to be like towards the end of March. And see, we were never commanded to go off the new moons. Why? Because the moon does not bring in the order of the days. It brings in the order of the seasons. And each luminary has its purpose. The moon has its purpose. The sun has its purpose. All the luminaries has its purpose. All right. Verse 37, it says, "For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, the day of testimony, and an unclean day of feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Shabbats and feasts and jubilees." Because you got brothers out there, like, for some reason they come up with this doctrine where everything begins at the new moon. So what they'll do is, like, for example, let's say the Shabbat fell on the new moon. But in each day in that week will be the Shabbat, according to some some of their theories and stuff. But the luminary never changes. The weekly Shabbat is the weekly Shabbat. So
Con.
everything is fixed. And it says, verse 38, it says, "For this reason I command and testify to you that you may testify to them. For after your death, your children will disturb them." You hear that? It says, "For after your death, your children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Shabbats and feasts, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh."
Mm-hmm. Con.
And technically, if we really want to get technical, of course, if we eat the right way, it's supposed to be kosher with all the fat and blood drained out of it. But the Bible did say that we're going to have to eat the
Unclean.
portions of the king's meat, the unclean portions of the king's meat. So this is why, y'all. This is why we need to really buckle down and get back to these commandments, man. Because to be honest with you, it's the only thing that's going to get us out of here. This is why me and Brother Aton, we push so hard on these laws. Because, we want our people to act right. We want our people to just stop being so damn wicked. And just all the commandments,
Brother,
man. Come on. And it's like if our forefathers would have done that, they would have had to wander in the wilderness for 40 years, some crazy stuff, and until all these generations got wiped out. But I'm just saying, man, our people sometimes it's like they be doing the most. All right. I also wanted to, if you had anything, so I want to go over the new moon. So
yeah, Con, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We can go over the new moon all day long.
Yeah. So we got a new moon coming up. So which is sunset, going to be sunset Wednesday on the 26th of October.
Con.
And everything. And
please have that day off.
Now, for those of you who are new, if the new moon falls on the Shabbat, you cannot cook because the Shabbat overrides any feast day. So, and I know that's a question that some people had and everything. But if the new moon doesn't fall on the Shabbat, then you can cook. You can cook on the new moon. You just can't buy and sell. We're going to prove that to you. Let's go to Amos. It was Amos 8:6.
God.
And we're going to show you what these boys wanted to do. All right. I'm sorry, Amos 8:5. So it's saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell grain? That right there let you know that them boys could not sell. They were waiting for the new moon to go away, so that they can do their business, get back to making money, get back to beating the flesh of their backs of their own people. It says that we may sell grain, and the Shabbat, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the sheep and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. Man, people are wicked as hell.
God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets you know right there that you cannot cook, you cannot buy and sell on the new moon, or any kind of business or any kind of gain for money. Just like it would be on the Shabbat. So let's see here.
Oh God. Oh, Salakia. Well, let me see. Let me go to Salakia. Let me just go to one more dealing with the new moon, right? Because I don't know why this is such a thing in Israel. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, this is a huge thing, and really no matter how many times I go over it, it seems to not stick. But I guess like the truth really isn't going to stick, because if you really think about it, right? You know how it says it's going to be a lot less people this time getting the kingdom than it was the first time. You got to remember, right? After the flood, the Most High, he only saved eight people out of how many billions of trillions that were probably on the earth at that time. I mean, like only 8 people survived. So if you take that in consideration, right? With only 8 folks now, what does that mean for the second death? How many folks going to really how many folks are really going to survive if they say a wave compared to a drop? You know, so the truth is going to be really hard to come by, right? So we go to Enoch 77, right? And, you know, which just makes sense. You know, it just makes sense. Like, we see that the moon does what? It goes through 14 cycles, I believe, right? And so, you know, throughout these cycles, we know that it gains, you know, right, that it gains light, right? And then the first half of the cycle, and then the last half of the cycle, it expels the light back up into heaven, right? You know, it's just like, you know, when I fill up a glass with water, and then I empty the glass out, right? Now, when I empty the glass out and the glass is empty, right, is that a new glass? Does that make the same glass that I had that I filled up water in the same glass and poured it out? Does that make the glass new? No, it does not make it new. The only thing is new is the water that I'm adding. That's new water into the glass. So if I have a dark moon, right, a black moon, that is an empty moon. It is void of light. There is nothing new in it. As we see, it's the same old moon that we've seen for millennia, right? That we've seen for thousands of years. It's the same moon. We don't get a new moon, right? Every time, you know, it turns black. There's, you know what I'm saying? The moon doesn't become all of a sudden, you know, God recreates the moon and we have a new moon up there. No, that's not what happens, right? What we do, we have new light that goes into the moon, right? Which we see that first little sliver of light. That is the new moon, because what's new in it is the light that is going into the moon, that is absorbing from the sun, right? And it says, you know, just to get a little bit of that, right? It says, Uriel likewise showed me another regulation. When light is poured into the moon, how it is poured into it from the sun. Right? All the time that the moon is in progress with its light, and it is poured into the presence of the sun until its light in its 14 days completed in heaven, right? So that means it's taking the same light that it's absorbed, right, to make it a full moon. Then throughout the last 14 days, right, you know what I'm saying, it's giving that light back up, right, during that 14-time cycle, right? And it says, and when it's wholly extinguished, right, which means that I got the black moon now, right? Its light is consumed in heaven. And on the first day, it is called a new moon, for on that day, light is received into it. So on the first day, right, that you see light enter into the moon, that's the new moon, right? That's the new moon. It's really easy to understand. It's not as hard as, you know, everybody else is really making it out to seem to be. This stuff is really easy to understand. We just got to unplug from the matrix, right? And we need to, you know, we need to stay in this truth. All right.
The key word, man. You hit the nail right on the head. You know, people got to unplug, and I know people aren't on one accord. You know, you got so many different calendars out there, which is crazy. And one of them shows their work and what they're doing. And on top of that, you know, you want to try to sell the calendar. Like, man, you know, at least show the work. At least show, you know, show the bruise that where you got your numbers from and where you got the scriptures and everything. Instead of just throwing something, you know, out your behind, just throwing it up there, you know, and then you expecting people just to follow that. And then you following the new moon. You following the same order as the Khazars. Guaranteed your feast days are going to match up with theirs every time, every year. And that's what a lot of our folks go after because it's easy. It doesn't require any studying, no work. All you got to do is just follow what everybody else does.
That's right.
I don't want to be that kind of person, you know. I'm not a follower. I'm definitely not a follower. You know, I'm not trying to follow no man's theories, you know. Logic. When we got the word and we can study ourselves, you know.
I encourage each and every one of you. Like, it may sound difficult, right? It may sound difficult, but like nowadays we have all this technology at our fingertips, right? We have all this technology at our fingertips, and having all this technology in our fingertips, what does that mean for us, right? What's going on with this thing? Sorry. All right. We have all this technology at our fingertips, right? And having the technology at our fingertips, that means that we are able to come up with all kinds of ways to decipher the knowledge that in front of us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, they've run these books and the Bible and things like that. Man, they run them through the computer, right? They run them through the computer where they come up with, you know, matching texts and matching words and letters and all these things that we can easily use to decipher the scriptures in this day and time. I mean, like, we're not in slavery days where we weren't allowed to read anymore, right? We actually have all these things, all these tools and devices in front of us that we could use to help us understand these scriptures better, right? So like things like that, right? You can just cross reference them, right? Say you look up some stuff over here, right? You could cross reference it with this over here. Cross reference it, cross reference. You know what I'm saying? So most of the words are the same. Most of the words line up. Or you can find out, like, you can go to Enoch and you can find out, and you can look at the creation days, or you can go to Jubilees or Jasher and look at the creation period and what's this talking about in there. You cross reference that with Genesis and what it's talking about. You'll see that all the stories line up, right? All of these stories, you know what I'm saying? Well, all this history lines up with what it's saying, right? If something that doesn't line up with this, it's just because your understanding is skewed, right? The Most High, he's not gonna, amongst the confusion that we already have, right? You think the Most High is gonna throw more confusion on there for us? No, right? He's gonna want our minds to be sharp, right? So we can grasp this knowledge that he has in front of us. Even in the New Testament, right? Even in the New Testament, in the days of the disciples, right? When Hamashiach was walking the earth, right? He even made it hard for some of the people to understand what he was talking about, right? On purpose, he will put stuff in parables. But nowadays, we have, that stuff is not meant for us. Like the Most High doesn't want us. True, it'll be a parable for those that don't study, right? If you don't study, of course, it'll be a parable to you. It'll be something, it'll be hard for you to understand, right? But if you're studying the scriptures like you're supposed to, right, you'll be able to understand it. You won't get tricked, right? You're not going to be able to, start believing in brothers that don't show their light, that don't show, their work, right? You want to follow things that are righteous, that show wholeheartedly, full proof the work and where this things come from. Right, they got to be able to stand.
You would think technology today. You would think our people will become smarter, but there's been proven studies to show that our people are getting dumber, even amidst the technology, which is insane. You got brothers asking people different questions and stuff, and they can't even answer basic questions and stuff. I'm like, but you would think, like brother was saying, you would think, because if we had all this technology, we got all this information in front of us, but nobody studies. It's weird, man. It's like, we got this powerful technology in front of us to memorize scriptures and to create our own precepts, but nobody's really doing that.
You got to remember, like,
it's crazy, man. Because like some of the questions that I get from some of our subscribers and everything, and it's like, dude, have y'all not been like picking up this Bible, man, and studying the scriptures?
Amongst the world, there's a lot of stuff that's going to have you sidetracked. Like we have these the LGBTQ people, they're trying to infiltrate the schools with these wicked ass books and things of this nature, stuff like that that'll try to skew off the learning and things of that nature, right? So it's not gonna we can't be focused on that stuff, right? I would rather our Hebrews try their hardest to take their kids out of these schools, right? This is why it's important. While Brother Daniel and I, we teach about 2-parent homes. We wholeheartedly teach about 2-parent homes, and if you are a single mother, to go back to the baby's father, and that will help out tremendously, just tremendously alone, and and to just starting to turn around the the void of darkness that our people is stuck in. You still there?
Yeah, man, I was listening.
Yeah, so that's just the that's just the bottom line. That way we can start studying this stuff, right? So I see a lot of people, they're being led by these we got older brothers, being led by these children. How were you an elder, right? Being led by children? I don't understand that. I'm saying, hey, you got these brothers in these camps, right? They 20, 25, maybe the oldest one out of them is 30, right? And they got people older than that, following behind these brothers. That's backwards.
And then you got, on top of that, you got these harlots online trying to teach and stuff, trying to break down scriptures. Harlots. Come on, y'all. I mean, and the Most High is going to reward all this stuff, and our people think that things are going to change because you all grew up in this generation where it's you can do what you want to do. There's no accountability. there's nothing. But the Most High doesn't work like that. Accountability is going to be had. So,
Con.
and you can believe that. When we go back into the wilderness, it ain't going to be no. It ain't gonna be no. I'm a free thinker. This. I'm an independent black strong woman. I'm this and I'm that. It ain't gonna be none of that in the wilderness.
Con, right? So that's why we stress that please. I mean, we have to study these scriptures, right? We have to, question those that put stuff out there and then they don't show their work. You be like, man, are you okay with this? Are you comfortable? I mean, can you prove that this and this is this? I mean, like I got to see the work right before me. I got to see the scriptures line it up for it, saying that this is the day that it's supposed to be going down. Right. I don't want to see a calendar that all of a sudden and I got to celebrate 13 months this year. Well, I got to have a Adar too, when that's not in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, man, when you're looking at stuff like that, you got to be like, well, there's got to be some wickedness going on there. Somewhere along the line, there's got to be, Satan there. Satan doesn't have to be, he doesn't have to be, they're so so in number that you can feel him there. Usually Satan is there just behind your thoughts, pushing that tiny bit of wickedness, telling you, hey, you know what, it's okay to just go ahead. Yeah, man. Hey, man, these brothers are trying. Go ahead and try it. Just go ahead and do that. It's okay, man. Just get behind that. Right. That's the Satan is never going to be overt with his tactics, right? Because it'll be too obvious. You know what I'm saying? Satan is always that low key, on the low, whispering stuff in your ear to slowly convince you to follow the path of wickedness, even though it might look right. He's gonna try to get you to follow the path of wickedness.
And that's why you want to test the spirits, no matter what. You want to test these scriptures. That's why we put the precepts down there, because I told Brother Atos that there's no way we're putting out a calendar if we don't show our work. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're there for. They're there for you to build these precepts, study upon them, and make the judgment for yourself. And that's the problem with our people. We're willing to accept anything. Anybody just come on there and say something that sounds good. And that's why when you have these women online teaching, they're teaching from their emotions, because they were never built to teach intellectually, because they don't have that in them. They don't have that capability in them. Only the men do. And some will probably disagree, but it's the facts. Women were not created to think logically. That's why the whole world is built by men, not by women. Women only served a particular purpose. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad purpose, but that purpose is going to come right back into play.
If we have anybody, please feel free to click the link if you have any questions concerning the calendar. We'll answer any questions you got concerning the calendar, because we can most definitely, emphatically show and prove our work. All right. So please click on the link.
Backstage, if you want to come on backstage, just make sure you show your face and everything.
I know you're a Hebrew. If you're a heathen, you no go. Sorry.
You can show it as long as you're on backstage and we see your face. Nobody else can see your face and everything. And once we validate you and everything, then we'll let you come on and speak your piece or whatever you want to speak.
But
bottom line, y'all, is just really trying to get our people. We know that the famine of the word is coming. Then what's so sad about it, that the famine is already happening, and our people have access to the word. We have it on digits, like Brother Aton was saying, man. We have it on. You can go get any free Bible anywhere, man. You can probably get all the books for free. You ain't even got to pay for the stuff. You can just how much prevalent it is. Then it makes you wonder, because nobody's studying, man. It's like it's a famine of the word hidden right in plain sight, man. Our people don't even know the scriptures.
And you know what, too? I suggest that even though I use my my digital devices a lot, right? I suggest that every single one of you, right? That every single one of you gets you a real Bible, a good, a real Bible in the scriptures. I don't care how many, because you don't know when the power is going out, right? You don't know when you're not going to be able to charge your phone and we have an attack of some sort, because one of these heathens are in uproar and they want to go to war. You just don't know. Right. So, I encourage each and every one of you to please, right, get you a hardback, to get you a hardback scriptures, get you an apocrypha, right? you got to get the scriptures, right? Something you can have tangible. You know what I'm saying? Sure, right? These things are real nifty, right? You got all the all the stuff that you put in there, but you need to be you need to be familiar. You need to be familiar, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd, 2nd, 1st, and Kings. You need to know these scriptures. You need to know the books of the Bible. All right.
Yep. That's the way it is. All right. Any questions? Any questions concerning the calendar? Any confusion or anything like that?
No, looks like we got all of it covered.
Okay. Just wanted to bring, look, y'all. And so let me just pull up the calendar right quick again.
Con.
All right. So I'm just going to give you a glimpse in the next month. We got month nine, which we'll be doing around November 16th sunset. And then the next one we got coming up, y'all, is going to be the Feast of Dedication, which is 8 days. That's gonna be a really good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're gonna talk about the whole Maccabean. We're gonna read that whole verse where it talks about how the Judah and Maccabean, his brothers went in. Boy, they had to run them Greek boys out of there.
I had to strike down the heathen in the name of Yahweh.
Yep, they were doing.
Bashem Yahushua.
And we got the 10th month coming up, and then the 11th month, of course, and then the 12th month we have Purim, and then we'll be putting out the new calendar sometime right when this one is this, because we don't want people to get confused, and then they're trying to keep the 23 calendar for 22.
That's right.
So we try to put it out towards the end.
Israel, we're not going anywhere, right? So if you're here with us 20 years from now, right, you're going to see that the calendar is still staying strong, right? It's going to keep us in season and out of season, right? It's going to keep us 1,000% correct, right? Because we've already done backdated it 100, 200 years to make sure that it's never going to fail, right? That this is the true and right thing. And I guarantee you that we're going to be here, right? So we're going to be here, Israel, with y'all. But please, right, tell your buddies to also to download the calendar where we have it able to download on our sites. So when these new month lessons are going to come up, because it's always going to be on the first day of the month. Lord, no, Most High willing, it's going to be on the first day of the month, right? And we want y'all to get all the questions and ask as many questions as you can now, because we're not going to go over it again. When the next month comes, saying we're just going to give you guys a happy, happy Chislu or a happy Nathaniel, saying this, that, or the third. We're not going to go over the whole thing. We're going to give this for you guys. We're going to put it in a what is it, like a playlist? Yes, for you guys to go back and review.
Yep.
Right. So you have any questions now? Please ask them. This, for this calendar or any other ones. Right. So when the seasons change, it's always on a new moon. Con. So matter of fact, we can show them on the calendar.
Say what?
We can show them on the calendar how the seasons change. Start back. Just go
let's
to
go for the first. Yeah, let's
con. Go to month one for us.
Yep. So this is the month of Abib. All right.
Con. All right. So the first right now, this is going to be directly following the old moon, right, on the moon for last year. But the first month, right, just like we saw in the scripture that Brother Daniel read, right, that the first month is going to be matter of fact, let me pull that up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be spring. It's going to so the first new moon in the year, in the Hebrew year, is going to be spring.
Con.
All right. And so notice how we do the calendars: 30, 30, 31. All right. And after each quarter, we're going to come to summer. The second moon in the quarter.
All right, Slocky, man. Let me get that thing. Jubilee 623.
Which is going to be summer. He's going to talk about the name of the moons, but I'm just going to go through and just show him how.
Okay, which one is that one? Hold on. Hey, go back. What was that?
This was the second one.
Okay, the second one, right? Now, if you got the if you got your Bibles open, you'll say on the new moon or the first month, right? That's going to be as we saw before in the first month, that was going to be what? That's going to be spring, right? So the spring is also the new year, right? That's going to be the spring, and the new month, and the new moon on the fourth month, right? That's going to make and this is the fourth month that we're in. You see, this says summer, right? and the new moon on the 7th month. Right. Oh yeah. Matter of fact, he has it all listed right here in the
Matter of fact, yeah,
green,
you see
the
this where the
gold.
seasons are divided by the new moons, and see, this is what y'all need to study and everything. But just for learning purposes, let me go to the 7th month.
Con, right.
Okay. Go to the 7th month and see what the new moon is.
Con, you see that fall leaf?
Yep,
That's
it's
like,
gonna be for the fall.
yeah, con. There we go. Bring it in. Bring it
Because
on.
it's on a feast day and everything.
Con. Man, boy, like that high def graphics. Let's go, boy.
Oh yeah, that's
That
all.
HD plus.
Can y'all see it?
Con. All right. Now we got the and the new moon of the 10th month. All right. We're gonna go down to the new moon of the 10th month.
Okay. And then,
All right. And what does that say? That says winter, right? The new moon of the 10th month, right? And the new moon. Oh, the moon of the 10th month. Yeah, con, right? Okay, so that's the 4, you know what I'm saying? That's the 4 seasons, right? And if I continue to read on at Jubilee 6, it says, in the 10th month are the days of remembrance and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year, right?
Mhm.
These are written and ordained as a testimony forever, right? So that's why we have that, right? So yes, the new moons, they do change, because we also have in Psalms 2. Slocky, let me pull that up real quick. Oops.
Psalms 104:19.
Con. All right. Psalms 104:19, it says, he appointed the moon for seasons, right? The sun knoweth his going down, right? Appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down, right? So that's how we did different divisions of the year. All right, Con. No problem, Mark.
Yep.
Baba Kasha.
That's it.
All right.
So anybody else have any questions?
Any other questions? Please feel free to join the live.
What's up, brother? Peter Piper. I know he always has questions. You got any questions, Peter Piper?
Peter Piper might not even be on right now. Popped up on him.
He commented earlier. I know he always has questions concerning the
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I see him. He right here. All right, bet. All right. No questions? All right, Israel.
Well, y'all know our email. If something comes up during the week, and you need to ask, just to send us an email.
Or just write it on the write it on the comment board. Not this particular comment board, but when the video posts.
I want a video post, yep.
We'll be sure to answer. I know sometimes it seems like we don't answer it, but trust me, we are. If we don't answer the question that we see, right, 9 times out of 10, it's because it's not because we're not looking at it, because we do read every question that you guys put in there. It's because we've gone over it in another lesson and we figured, oh, well, they're not paying attention, so we're just not going to answer it. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go back through and then flip through. But 9 times out of 10, we will answer questions that have not already been answered by us in a previous lesson. All right, Israel. Shalom. And like Brother Daniel would say, stay strong.
Stay strong, and we'll see you with Most High's willing. We'll see you on Friday. We get back to our 7-year war campaign.
God.
Shalom and stay strong.